Big thanks to one of you guys for telling me about this interview. I'm a little late on it, but I really had to talk about it. So without wasting any time, in a recent interview with Dylan O'Brien, you know him as Thomas from the Maze Runner movie. He was promoting his new thriller film Pony Boy, but right at the end of the interview, the Maze Runner reboot came up, and his reaction said a lot. It's honestly kind of surprising and a little frustrating, especially if you're a Maze Runner fan like me. So in this video, we're breaking down what went down, what Dylan really thinks, and what it could mean for this reboot that's currently in the works. Anyway, when the interviewer brought up the Maze Runner reboot, Dylan looked totally caught off guard, like he genuinely didn't know anything about it. And I'm not exaggerating. You could tell this wasn't something he was keeping secret. This was the first time he was hearing about it. He didn't get a call. He wasn't asked to be involved. Nothing. Now that's already kind of shocking, right? This is the lead actor of the original trilogy. He is Thomas, and they're apparently working on a new installment and he's completely out of the loop. That says a lot about how the studio is approaching this whole thing. What's even more interesting is how this reboot is being described. It's not a full remake, and it's not a direct sequel either. It's being called a continuation of the story. That basically means it's set in the same universe, but with a new cast, a different group of characters, and a different story. It's being written by Jack Paglen, and Wes Ball, the original director, is coming back, but only as a producer this time. So it's still kind of connected to the original trilogy, but it's also clearly trying to move in a different direction, since Thomas is not involved. Is it going to follow the Kill Order book, which is set about 13 years before The Maze Runner and doesn't include the characters we know? That actually makes sense. And based on Dylan's reaction, it doesn't sound like they're bringing back any of the original cast. It's a totally fresh take, just using the same world. In the books, there actually are more stories that include Thomas. So technically, they could continue the story and still bring him back in some way. But based on this interview, it doesn't sound like that's what's happening. Dylan made it clear he hasn't heard anything. He didn't even know the reboot was real until this moment. So if Thomas is in it, the studio definitely isn't planning on using Dylan to play him. Now, here's the part that really hit me as a fan. Even though Dylan was clearly surprised and maybe a little disappointed, he didn't seem bitter. He actually talked really respectfully about his time working on the Maze Runner movies. He mentioned how much those films meant to him, not just career-wise, but personally too. Like, those were important years in his life. He learned a lot, grew as an actor and a person, and clearly has a lot of love for the experience and the people he worked with. So, while he didn't seem angry, you could tell this reboot situation is kind of awkward for him. He's proud of what they built, but now there's this new project that feels like it's moving forward without even acknowledging what came before. What's really cool is that Dylan didn't shut the door on the idea of coming back. He said that if the opportunity came up and it made sense, he'd be open to it. But at the same time, he also admitted no one's talked to him. Not the studio, not the producers. Nothing. So for now, it seems like he's not involved at all. And that brings up another point. What about the rest of the original cast? If Dylan doesn't know anything, then chances are neither do the others. No word on Minho, Brenda, Jorge, Frypan, and Gally. None of them have been mentioned. So yeah, sure, it's cool that the Maze Runner universe might continue. But if you don't include the original cast, or at least acknowledge their impact, it kind of feels like the new project is just trying to use the brand name without really respecting what made it special in the first place. I really hope it turns out great with the new cast. Now look, we've all seen how these things go in Hollywood, right? Sometimes actors pretend they don't know anything, only for them to show up in the movie later as a big surprise. So naturally, a lot of fans are wondering, was Dylan really surprised? Or is he just playing it cool to keep a cameo secret? And honestly, it's possible. His reaction did seem genuine, like he was hearing it for the first time. But it also wouldn't be the first time a studio asked someone to keep quiet for the sake of a big reveal later on. Especially with a continuation like this, where nostalgia and surprise cameos are a huge part of the hype. So yeah, maybe he really has no idea. Or maybe he's already shot a secret scene and just can't say anything yet. Until we get official news, it's all speculation, but it definitely keeps things interesting. So let me know in the comments. How do you feel about a Maze Runner continuation without Dylan or the original cast? Would you still watch it? Or do you think the heart of Maze Runner is gone without them? Make sure, guys, to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll keep you updated on any Maze Runner news as it comes out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.